I looked behind me and there was this like silhouette of a tall, dark figure. Nine is chasing us.
After that, I didn't look, I just kept going.
Oh shit, fixed her hair. Diana Toad. Hello everyone, welcome to today's story time with me, Nathan, and I'm joined with Luke. I can say, personally, it was the scariest moment in my life.
Yeah. One of the scariest moments of mine, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
It's up there, yeah.
Yeah. So we're all standing in the toilets, skipping maths, as you do.
And we were debating going back.
We were debating going back, we were like, and then what a knock came on the...
Yeah, we got found there.
Yeah, just someone knocked on the toilet like door, and so we all just ran into the stalls.
Yeah.
And then, but when I closed
Try not to
mine,
make noise though as well.
that's what I'm getting to. Right? When I closed mine, I went. I was like, fuck.
I went into mine, he obviously bleeped the name out, and sitting there and just burst in. I just can't stop laughing, he can't stop laughing.
Yeah.
And I was like, fucking, we just go out. We got led to the class.
Yeah.
And then we couldn't control our laughter outside.
Oh, that was the worst.
Then we got like, brought to the office, and we just couldn't stop laughing.
I
We were all
remember.
trying our best not to laugh, and then principal came out, gave us a real lecture,
Yeah.
and then we got sent home.
Yeah. And like, I know like you've been like suspended a couple of times and like sent home and all, but that was like the first time, like in me whole time at school, that I got sent home. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, I didn't know how to act, and I was like, oh shit. So I just rang me nanny, and I was like, yeah, I was in the toilet having a piss, and they just sent me home. So my nanny was like, what? That's disgraceful. They're not even letting you go toilet. But obviously, I didn't tell the truth. And then, so my nanny was on my side of it. We went to our local park, and we just did what we usually did, just walk around, had a laugh or whatever.
Chill out, yeah.
And we had the conversation of like, should we start taking fitness seriously, going... So when we were like having the conversation like, oh, should we start taking jogging seriously, fitness seriously, and we were like, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And we were like thinking of like the perfect time to start jogging. I get a phone call off me nanny, and she's like, I made food there, and I'm like, I'm out with Luke, and she goes, oh, he can have some as well. So we walked back to mine, and I was like, Luke, whatever you do, just I told you some bullshit story
It's
about...
only to just act like that.
Yeah, act like you
That
didn't
way
get
wasn't,
sent home. Yeah. So we're sitting there, and you're like, oh, is that what happened in that class? And you go,
I was like, is
yeah.
that why you weren't there?
Yeah. Like acting fucking... I mean, any didn't catch on. But she actually follows the podcast, so she might hear this. So after we had our food, we were like, do you know what, fuck it, we're going to start our jogging journey right now. So even though we just ate food, we knew we were going to have a stitch, so we just gave it a go, jogging down the road beside the park.
Like less than a kilometre.
Yeah, slightly less than a kilometre it was. And then this was March, so it was still getting dark quite early-ish. When we got into the park, we were just like, we stopped, we were walking around like just sitting down, having a chat, whatever.
It was actually like dark.
Yeah. But we were, like, I know I had a stitch at that point, like after we did the jogging.
Oh no, I did as well, yeah.
Like, obviously that's fucking, we ate literally 10 minutes before.
Yeah.
But so we're in the park, we're just walking around, and I was trying to get rid of me stitch, because I remember we were at the steps. I remember we started jogging then. So we were at the steps, we said, fuck it, we'll start jogging again. And we jogged
yeah.
up by the playground and around, and then we stopped.
Yeah, we went
And-
back to the exercise things, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was people in the park, like, I'm not going to say we were alone in the park, like,
It was like a very small amount.
yeah, it was like, I knew there was one person,
On one side, one on the other.
yeah, I seen like two,
People spaced out.
yeah, two max 3 people I seen in the park, right? And like, it's a big park, and it's like an open park, like it's not covered by trees. There is parts of the park covered by trees, but like in the part we were in, it's just like an open field where you can see everything. and although it was dark, we could make out there's a person over there with her phone out because you can see the light, and there's a person cycling because they're light, whatever. And when we did a loop, I think we started jogging and then stopped. Remember we did a loop and we stopped at the end of the path, alright? And we just kept walking, and like the whole way, like I'm not gonna say I knew of every single thing around me, but I just knew there was nobody behind us at all, or nobody in front of us, or whatever.
Because at the time I didn't like remember anyone behind us.
Yeah,
It
same.
was like, it's just us now.
Yeah. So I have pictures and videos. I'm gonna put them on the screen and describe like what happened and where we were. So we were walking down the path that I'm gonna show you now. And when we got to the left turn, we heard a noise in the bush that you'll see on the far side, and it just like kind of freaked me out a little bit. But I was like, it's probably just like whatever, like a
I thought it
rabbit.
was like an animal.
Yeah, like there's a lot of animals in that park that were like, oh, it's just an animal. It's a rabbit or
You
a
wouldn't really
fox or something.
think it was a human being.
Yeah. And up until what happened next, I didn't think it was human. I thought it was
Yeah.
like,
I was just having a laugh and I was, here are you?
yeah. I remember that because that was obviously a joke.
Yeah,
we
yeah,
had.
yeah.
And when we heard the noise, Luke just went, "Here are you," and we laughed or whatever. And then we walked, what would you say, like 15 meters?
Yeah, I'd say that, give or take.
Give or take 15 meters. And then I just like, out of habit, like I just looked behind me, like just for whatever, and I would look behind me, and there was this like silhouette of a tall, dark figure, like from what I remember, I'd say taller than us,
Oh yeah.
like 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah.
That's from what I remember anyway.
I remember you telling me, you saying, was he behind us this whole time? And I looked back and was like, no. And I was like, he looks way over 6 foot.
Mm.
Or 8, whatever it is.
Yeah. And I had said, I just turned to Luke, I was like, here, there's a man behind us, and he wasn't there the whole way up. I remember saying that. And then you look behind you, and it obviously looks sus. I look behind me, said something, then you look behind, and then you said to me, come on, we just start walking fast. No, you said to me,
What was it?
start walking faster, right? So just as I like picked up the pace to walk fast, you just goes, Nain, he's chasing us. And then I just like got a really fast glimpse, right?
Yeah.
Just turned as you started running, and I was starting to run, got a quick glimpse, and he was
He was
pelting
running after us.
after us. And then I just remember I was sprinting after you, and my adrenaline didn't kick in. Like I was just fucking shitting myself.
Mine did.
I felt so weak. Like I literally was like, I'm gonna pass out because the fear, like you know, your fight or flight.
Yeah.
Like my fear kicked in, and I was like, oh shit.
Wasn't your leg not a bit sore
Yeah.
at the time?
That's what, like my leg was just sore because I was overweight and jogging for the whole day. So
Oh yeah.
my leg was sore. I still had probably a bit of a stitch, and I was just running, and I was like shit. And you were getting ahead of me, and I was like, please don't leave me, because you know, just in my head I was like, what if he just runs away and I just fucking fall back? But
luckily you gave up though.
do you remember the last point you seen him? Because I can't. I remember I
I think it
didn't
might
look
have been
back.
the steps.
Yeah,
Because I got a bit of a look back and he was running.
still at the steps.
Yeah, and then he's just gone. But after that I didn't look, I just kept going in fear of getting caught.
Yeah.
So obviously he was running, I look back, I see him run, getting to the steps. I was like, alright, I'm not looking back, just trying to keep going. And then we end up, I didn't look back till we got out.
Jesus, yeah.
But luckily that gate was open and we
Oh,
just took a
stop.
gamble on it.
Because we were still like in that park. There's so many different gates, and some of them lock at certain times. And it was that late. I would say it was about 8:30.
Oh yeah,
8:30 in the evening
definitely that one, yeah.
during spring. So it's not summer. The park doesn't open till like 10, 11. So some gates are closed, but some gates just don't lock 24/7. And we were just lucky that the gate that we were running towards was open, because like that whole walk back, like I couldn't stop looking behind me. I was like thinking something was gonna happen, but like,
It's also what if he just didn't give up chasing something, like the
Yeah.
gate was closed.
oh fuck. And like, what kept going through my mind was like, what the fuck was he planning on doing? Like honestly,
Yeah.
like the the not scared part of me was like, maybe he just seeing you look, and we start walking fast, that he was like, oh, these are a bit scared, let me just play a prank or whatever. But then I was like, no, because it had to have been him coming out of the bush. Who's in a bush? And
Like
like
8 o'clock in the night.
obviously there's homeless people over there, we know that. Like
Yeah.
there's tents everywhere and all.
Oh yeah.
But I'm like, what was the intention of coming out of the bush and then following us? And then when we start walking past, he just sprints at us. Like, what the fuck was his intention? What did he have in his pocket? Probably a fucking needle or something.
Possibly.
Oh, Jesus.
There wasn't a not scared part of me at the time. I was like, he's up to no good.
Yeah.
He's getting out of there.
You know, it's in the moment, pure fear. I was like, he's gonna fucking kill us. So I was just gone. But that night then I was like, oh, maybe he just was playing a prank. And I texted you and I was like, maybe he was just messing. I remember we came home here
Yeah, we did.
and I said to my dad, like, we explained to my dad what happened, and we were fucking still shitting it. And my dad was telling the stories about times he was chasing all. But like, if I'm being chased by like a person that I can see their face, like, it's scary that like, oh, they're gonna fucking kick me around. But it was just, it felt 100 times more scary that we didn't know what this
Didn't
person,
know what they could have done.
like, they literally, yeah, just the fear of the unknown. Like, what was he doing? You know what I mean?
And honestly say, you're not afraid of the dark, you're afraid of what's in it.
Yeah. But like, that night I remember so clearly, right? So I'm gonna put it on screen of the direction that we ran from.
Right, you still have the measurement of it.
It was like
700 metres, is it?
700 meters we sprinted, yeah. Just no, like, letting down. Like, we just sprinted full pace,
Jesus.
700 meters. But I had a dream, right, that night. Well, it's not a dream, it was a nightmare, where I was standing on top of the steps on the
Yeah.
hill, and he was running at us, like running at me and you from the same direction he ran. So like, my nightmare, right, was just a man running. So I'm on the steps and he's running from that bush towards me, and I just woke up at that point. Like, that was fucking, it felt so real as well, to get me.
Yeah.
I just woke up, I was like, what the fuck, couldn't go back
I
to
remember
sleep.
we were just swearing on never going back at night.
Yeah.
I remember we seen people walk through and all night.
Yeah.
Like, how do they do that?
Like, when people are coming home from work, they take that as a shortcut at night,
Oh yeah, I know.
on their own.
I don't know how.
Fuck that shit, honestly. But like, at that time we were only getting over our fear of being there at night. Do you remember
Yeah.
at first we were like, oh, we're a bit scared, and then we just got to a point where like, this
It's
is
not even
nothing.
that bad. It's just
And then that happens and we're like, nah, fuck that.
because my mind was like, it just feels like daytime, but it's just obviously too dark.
Yeah.
But no, that changed me bleeding mindset on it.
A man was allegedly seen emerging from some bushes masturbating in a North Dublin park. The male, whose identity is unknown, followed a woman while she was out for a morning walk in Santry Park last Thursday morning at 7:30 a.m. Now keep in mind,
When was that one?
this was published June 2018,
2018.
and what happened to us was March 2021.
Remember you told me that story?
The woman told Dublin Live, I was walking in the park as I do every morning before work, and as I am always careful of my surroundings, I always know who's behind me. And that's what like I meant by like,
The habit of looking behind you.
no matter where I go, I'm always like, just because I
I
like,
think
you
aren't we
know.
all?
Yeah, we're all
somewhat
like that, yeah. So then she said, however, last Thursday the man appeared from nowhere. I knew there was nobody behind me as I did check a few seconds before. So like, where the left turn and the straight on, we could see there was no one to our left, no one straight on, and I knew there was no one behind us. So
Just the rustling in the bush.
The rustling in the bush.
Some sort of animal.
and then he just appeared. This woman says, and then suddenly I heard a noise like a breaking twig behind me and saw him approaching fast. I felt inside there was something wrong, but did not get afraid at first, as I thought he's in a hurry to work, as many people are this time every day. I stopped for a second as I heard birds in the lake, and I turned around to see where he was, and he was stood beside me with an evil looking face, flashing his penis and masturbating. Now, the term evil looking face, right, doesn't really resonate with us because it
We couldn't see.
it was so dark we couldn't see his face, but it was scary because it was just a silhouette of a really tall man.
Oh yeah.
That was just, again, he looked.
We can
Well-
only imagine that they're the same person
Yeah.
in that story.
But like, it would be weirder, right, if it is the same person. But in my opinion, it would be a whole lot worse if it's not the same person. That means there's just
Dozens of
fucking
people out there.
weirdos that go to that park and fucking do weird shit. You know what I mean?
Well, it has to be more than one of them though.
Yeah, but like,
There's no way we came across the only weirdo there.
do you think if we were in the daytime, would he have had his dick out? Would we have seen? Because he could have just had his dick out and run after us looking for a quick shag.
Well, in the daytime, he probably wouldn't have done that. No.
Yeah. I froze and didn't know what to do. We were a few metres from the gate, and instead of going to the gate where there was a lot of cars waiting on traffic lights, in shock I went back towards the park. Walking fast, I looked back and he was walking behind me, so I walked faster and so did he. So I started running and he ran as well. But because I cannot run for long, I looked back and saw him getting closer and closer. I couldn't run any longer, so stopped, turned around and started screaming, "Leave me alone," and help, very loud. I think that's what stopped him, as he just stood there, but still masturbating. So I ran again, just because it was at the edge of the trees. He just stood there looking my way. I ran and looked back a few times, and he just stood there looking at me, so I stopped when I felt safe and looked at him. He was still there and suddenly started screaming. I didn't hear what he was screaming, it was too far. So I ran again, but there was people jogging, so I felt safe, and he just disappeared. The woman has been badly shaken by the incident and hasn't been back walking in the morning since. She added, "I actually couldn't sleep that night and was imagining what could happen if I would have reacted differently. I'm too scared right now to go to the park in the mornings, and we'll go after work when there's more people in the park."
That's like us. We're kind of like scared to go at night.
This is what I'm saying, right? Her story, right? The nobody behind her and then someone appears. That's
like us.
described the exact same. Evil looking face.
Well,
We
couldn't
can't really relate to that. The fact that when we start walking, he started walking. When we start walking past
what
it,
we
he
were
started.
doing.
That's what he did to us, and she's explained it the exact same. Like, if you had to put a bet on that being the same person or a different person that we got, what would you say? Because if I had to, I would say it's the same person.
It has to be.
I think it is. I think just the way she described it is exactly how we felt.
But do you think he's like still out there?
So that's what I'm going to go on to, right? Have another.
So I actually think he's still out there in the same bush.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at night though.
Mm.
Because I'm pretty sure we walked past that like more than once in the day. Because we used to go there nearly every day, yeah?
Yeah.
And we've went past dozens of times and it's been alright. Just that one time though, something like had to happen.
Has anyone near Santry heard in the last few months from a man whom every now and then, I'd say once every 6 months, screams and shouts? Tonight at 3:15 a.m. there was an alarm going off for about 30 minutes, and then after it stopped, I heard this guy running around. He started screaming in a way that reminds me of the crazy guy in The Simpsons when Moe starts a restaurant. I know it sounds funny, but it was terrifying. Do you get that reference? When Moe starts a restaurant?
No.
Me neither. He ran around our estate and I think tried our block door and ran off screaming and sounding terrified. He sounds like he's on an extremely aggressive form of drugs, and I've never seen something like it. Like a white walker or something.
Oh fuck.
My girlfriend is awake. I've made sure her door locked and I can hear neighbours awake too. I've definitely heard him across the park before at night, but since he was far, never bothered to say anything. Wondering if anyone had heard anything. There are homeless people in the park, but they don't interact with us when we come through. And I'm like, does that sound like our guy? I don't know. Because, like,
He definitely could have been capable of running around this day screaming.
yeah, honestly, yeah. Just, probably was just at the time he was fucking on drugs and we were like, "Who are you?" And he was like, and he just started running after us or whatever.
Yeah.
I would like to, I don't know, even in the daytime, to walk over towards that bush, and even though it's like 4 years later, just see if there's anything in that bush. Like a
It
fucking,
could be though.
I'd love to do that in the daytime, just go over and see.
Yeah, it would definitely have to be the daytime. There's no way in going
Oh
at
yeah,
night.
fuck that. The pitch that we play football in is connected to this park.
Yeah.
And you know, like sometimes the way I go on my own,
Yeah,
like I do be like looking behind me, I'm like, oh, because he literally lives there. Like he could just come through them trees at any moment.
yeah. And there's a fence, isn't
There's a fence, but then there's a load of trees that separate the park. Like, do you know the way people go from the park into the pitch?
there? Oh,
Remember we tried to find
yeah,
the way?
we tried it, we couldn't.
So like I keep fucking looking behind me and shitting myself that man's just gonna appear one of these days. When I'm with you or when I'm with you and Anto or like someone else, I'm grand. But when I'm on my own, I'm like, fuck.
Especially when the bushes are behind the goal and all.
Yeah, I know. Because when I kick a ball into them bushes, I'm like, oh shit, you could just jump out there at any moment. Like, do you know what I mean? Fucking.
Yeah.
If it was like a 14-year-old girl walking through the park at night on her own, and a man start chasing her, like. I'm saying at least he can see that as an easy target or whatever. But we were 16, yeah?
Yeah.
Like we were two 16-year-old lads and he just said, oh, I'm going to chase them. Like what was he expecting to get out of it? Because I know if he did start catching up,
It wouldn't have ended well.
like the two of us would have
fought.
unless he fucking stabbed one of us or something and then battered the other one. But like 2-on-1, like no matter how, like we would have. I think we would have battered him anyway.
Obviously.
I'd like to think we would have.
Like that. And judging by how he gave up as well, chasing us.
Yeah, like.
He probably would have had no standing left after a few boxes.
Like he ran for like what? So if you said, let's say he stopped just after the steps, right?
Yeah.
That means he would have ran like 200 meters max, and then just like stopped.
Something was
So he was planning on catching us in 200 meters.
But we were too quick.
Yeah, I don't know. Like you get what I mean? Like if it was a little girl that he was chasing after because it's an easy target, it makes sense. Like a fucking weirdo chasing a little girl because he can easily, like, he'll easily win that fight if she tries to fight back. But we're two 16-year-old lads that.
He must have realised after a while.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, these are, if they're fast, they're probably fucking strong as well.
Yeah.
Surely more people have stories about a man in Central Park, and that's why it's probably one of the reasons we're making this is that, like, if you're seeing this on YouTube, TikTok, whatever, and something similar has happened, even not in this particular park, just in any park, like, leave it in the comments or DM or something, because I'm interested to know if this is common or whatever. Anyway, thanks for watching the story time today. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Peace.
Broccoli.